It was 1999, I think, and I had an office at Castle Rock, and Jeff was doing some work in the office next door, and he came in just to chat one day, and he said, "So what are you doing? You know, what are you going to do next?" And I said, "Well, I think I'm going to go back to stand-up and try and do some stand-up," because I hadn't done it in 9 years. And he said, "Well, you should film it." And I said, "I don't think that's a very good idea, and I don't want to do that." And then he was very persistent with it, and I went home and I talked to my wife about it, and she really thought it was a good idea. And he just kept nudging me, and finally I said, "Okay, maybe we can do this." And I started to think about what this so-called documentary would be of me going back to do stand-up. And okay, so we would film my shows, how they would progress. I could see that, but then you'd see the material once, you'd kind of get bored of it. And what would happen off stage when I wasn't doing the stand-up? What would we be talking about? And it seemed like, well, that's just going to be kind of boring. What, are you going to come shopping with me? I don't see how that's going to work at all. So I started to think, well, maybe I could just create some stories around the stage business. And so I sat down and I started to come up with some ideas for stories that would work in the context of going back and doing the stand-up. And I had a couple of different, maybe 3 different stories in there. And the only way to do those stories was not to script them, because it would seem weird, because it's supposed to be a documentary. We wanted people to believe that all this was happening and it was all true. So we thought, well, the best thing to do is to just improvise it. And then, you know, just a short while into filming, we all realized that, hey, this thing has some potential as a series. And that's kind of how it started.